Hi YouTube, this is Faye from Virtual Wedding Pro. How are you doing today? Yeah, I wanted to talk about, a really interesting topic that I think every bride wants to know the answer to. What does a wedding planner do for me? Um, it's a really crucial question because wedding planning is expensive. The average cost of a wedding planner in the United States is over $3,200. And of course, the cost of living in every state is different. So that's more in metropolitan cities like New York, etc., where the average is frankly above 5,000. And it can be less also in certain other areas which are more rural. But again, your average, what you're more than likely looking at is at least $3,000 for a wedding planner. Um, a lot of people ask the question, why can't I just plan the wedding myself? And the answer is you can. But the truth of the matter is that we've all been to events which were obviously planned by someone who's not an event planner. Some sometimes it does go off okay, but a lot of times there are things that are missed. People don't fully understand what it takes to both participate in an event. Ooh, excuse me, a bee just flew by. Okay. What it takes to both participate in an event and to also coordinate it, and there are just a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. So what does an event planner do for you? What does a wedding planner do for you on, the biggest day of your life? Um, Number one is negotiate with venues and vendors, right? This is super important. Like, it's super important for your wedding. But there are multiple layers to it, right? For instance, there are a lot of online wedding planners that are free, which are, for the most part, hosted by wedding magazines, right? But those are not really planners so much as they are just suggestions to use their vendors. They kind of just push their vendors to you, typically the vendors that are paying them to be listed, and they push them to you to book. Most of the time, those vendors are vetted, they're good vendors, but at the same time, they're also pretty expensive. You don't really have much flexibility to, to really save more money, which I know a lot of brides these days are looking to do. A lot of people are saving for homes, for cars, just want to pay off debt, or maybe just don't want to spend, so much money on their wedding. So, looking for affordable alternatives can be a little hard if you stick to just those free online wedding planners. Um, the other thing is that, understanding what to look for in each vendor is super important. I've been to weddings where, caterers didn't bring enough food. I've seen weddings where caterers didn't understand how to plate food and it took over 2 hours for everyone to get fed. I've been to weddings where the photographers were brand new and, the pictures all came out wrong, candlelit room, and the photographers washed out all the ambiance with too much flash. I mean, there are millions of things that honestly can go wrong when you don't book the right kind of vendors or if you don't know what to look for in a vendor. So a wedding planner understands these things and can help you to look out for those things. Some wedding planners do require you to use their vendors. I've never done that with my clients, but even though I don't do that with my clients, I always look at their work and I know what I'm looking for. I speak to them and I know what I'm asking, and just to make sure that they get, my clients are getting exactly what they need. So the next thing that a wedding planner does for you is ensure that you don't forget any important details. For instance, with certain venues and certain events, you need to get event insurance. And I'm sure that's a completely new concept for a lot of people, but it is important. And, you know, again, if you're not familiar with the industry, so things like that can go over your head. Things like security can go over your head. Even understanding how to organize your kitchen or your menu to make sure that your food doesn't take 2 hours to come out is important. And those are things that a wedding planner can help you to iron through, right? They can make sure that, everyone is reminded of their time constraints on the day of your wedding, etc. They also help you to plan your wedding down to the last minute. Now, here I'm going to debunk a really big myth, right? A wedding that runs well is a wedding that's planned well in advance. I always plan my weddings down to the last minute of every single day, and that's how we keep it running. It's not a matter of just showing up on the day of and just having it run smoothly, So even if you do plan on hiring a day of coordinator, you still need to make sure that your logistics are planned well from the start. Finally, they hold you accountable, right? If you haven't paid someone yet, if you haven't booked someone yet, etc., they make sure that they remind you that this is important to make sure that you lock this in for your day and make sure that things are done on time so that you have everything that you need. You know, so why do we go into this, right? So Virtual Wedding Pro, again, we are the first company that focuses on giving you wedding planning tools online, true wedding planning tools, not just vendor booking tools. You know, we sit with you, we give you modules to help you attack every aspect of your wedding from multiple angles. For instance, catering. How do you know whether a buffet or a plated meal is right for you? What are the pros and cons? We literally discuss this through with you to help you make the decision of what's right for you. And we do that at every single step of the way. We show you how to get more affordable vendors, how to coordinate them to make sure things run smoothly, etc. throughout the process. I already told you, the average cost of a wedding planning in the United States is $3,200, and it could be more in certain places. But Virtual Wedding Pro, our most expensive package is $850, and our least expensive package is $375, all of which has a lot of information that can help you along the way. The biggest difference is how many times you meet with us one-on-one for consultations. But either way, you still get the information and the checklists and everything to make sure that you have everything planned down to the T in advance. In addition to that, there's an option to pay monthly. So you can always just pay $40 a month. I mean, you can, $40 a month versus paying over $3,000, over $5,000 if you're saying New York, etc. for a wedding planner is so worth it. And again, I'm a certified wedding planner, experienced. I've been featured in multiple wedding magazines and blogs, The Knot, Wedding Wire, you name it, and you get the same exact thing for less. So all I want to do is just ask you to head over to virtualweddingpro.com, check it out, look at some of our modules. If maybe you're not engaged yet or you're just not ready, just sign up for our newsletter. We send tips out every couple of weeks. We don't spam, but we do send tips. And once you're ready, you can always sign up and I can be your wedding planner. It's that simple. So we look forward to working with you. And thank you, and I hope you learned something. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments box, and don't forget to subscribe to the Virtual Wedding Pro YouTube channel. Thank you, and I will talk with you next time.